Okay, so now we take up one sorting algorithm. Okay, we will go over the sorting algorithm, which is called the heap sort. Write it properly. We'll take heap sort. Okay, so this is one sorting algorithm which is optimal in the sense that it solves the sorting problem in order n log n time, and also as I already told you, the sorting problem cannot be solved less than n log n time. So this solves the sorting problem in n log n time, and the data structure for sorting this in this way is quite nice actually, and also it gives you a flavor how to analyze something, where the analysis, a better analysis, give you the correct picture. This is a perfect example for that. Okay, so that's why I have chosen to teach this one today. So what is a heap sort? It is based on one data structure called complete binary tree. Okay, so what is a complete binary tree? It's a binary tree. You already know what is a binary tree. Each one has two or one child, at most two child, and each level of the binary tree is complete except probably the last one, and the last one should be filled from left to right. So this is a complete binary tree. Okay, so every level is full except the last level, which should be full, not full, which should be complete from the left to right. Okay, so that's the basic constraint on the data structure on which the heap sort works. Okay, so first thing is why did we choose this structure? We'll see how to embed this tree structure in an array. If we have this property, we can embed implicitly, we can keep this one in an array, this entire tree. Okay, so let's see how. So what we do, for each node I, okay, so this I is the index to the array in which we are going to, say I call this array A. It starts with the index 1. Okay, so I is the index to array. So suppose a node has been mapped to the index I, its children. So Li is the children, left child. So Li is the left child of I. Ri is the right child of I, and we note Pi is the parent of I. I don't have to explain what are all these mean, because you already know what is left child, right child of a binary tree, of a node in a binary tree, and what is the parent of a node. Okay. Now, if I is there, how do we embed Li, Ri, and Pi? The simple formula is Li is nothing but 2I, Ri is nothing but 2I plus 1. And from these two formula, Pi definitely follows, which is I by 2 floor. This is the notation for floor. What is the floor? Floor means this is the greatest integer which is less than equal to I by 2. Okay, so this is the formula. So you can see, if I can embed the entire binary tree in an array, and I want to know what is the right child of a node I, immediately I can get the index of the right child. I just take 2I plus 1. It is very easy to access the children of a node, very easy to access the parent of a node. Okay, so let me take an example. So say this is one. So suppose this is a complete tree, complete binary tree. How do we index in an array A? So this is the array A. So this is the root 1, index 1. So this will be 2. So basically indexing will be from left to right in each level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so you can see one. Now we just put 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So basically you have embedded this node here. Actually it will not contain 1, it will contain the value in this node. I have just written the index basically. And you can see what is the left child of 1 is 2, and 2 times 1 is 2, which is basically this one. Here goes this one. This one goes here. 2i plus 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3, which is here. Okay. So let's take the parent of 10. Parent of 10 is, so not 10. Let's take 9. Parent of 9 should be 4. So parent of 9 is here. This is the 9. What is the 9 by 2? 4.5. And if you take the floor, which is 4, so it is here. This is a parent. Okay. So this is the embedding the entire tree within an array. Okay. Now let me tell you what are the condition for the heap sort structure or heap structure. For this one, each node, say node I, have a value v which is less than or equal to the value in parent of v. This is the condition. Every node has a value which is less than or equal to the value in its parent. Okay. So basically, suppose I take this. So I can put say 30, 20, 10, 12, 8, 9. This satisfies this property. If you take any node, say 8, 8 is less than equal to 20, which is its parent. 20 is less than equal to 30. Okay. So this condition what I have put, this is the condition for the max heap. Because by this condition, the maximum number goes to the root. If somehow you have put the numbers in a heap manner, okay, where the topmost element is the maximum element. Okay, but mind, there is no ordering between the children. I cannot say that the left child will always be greater than equal to right child. It's not true. There is no ordering, and that's the distinction between heap and binary search tree. Binary search has the ordering among the child, but heap does not have it. Okay. So let's see now. First thing what we will prove is what is the height of a heap sort tree or heap. So let us denote h as the height of heap. Okay. What is the height of a heap? Basically, height of any node I is the number of edges you have to traverse from the root to come to that node. Okay. So the root by itself has height 0. The next level is height 1. Okay. So what is the height of the heap? Is basically the maximum height of any leaf. All the leaf will actually have the same height by our condition. Okay, that's the height of a heap. So let's see what is the height of a heap. Our claim is, so this is our claim. Claim is log of n plus 1 minus 1 is this log is base 2 base 2 less than equal to log n. Okay, so this is the condition on height. Okay, what is the proof? So proof for this one, for height h we have sigma. So what we have, we first count all the nodes which are present in all the complete levels. So except the last level, I am counting everything. Okay. So how many nodes can be there? This is nothing but I goes from 0 to h minus 1. H is the height. So I just take one level less than that. It is 2 to the power I. Right? 2 to the power I plus 1. If you count it exactly, this is the case. So when I is equal to 0, basically this will give you 2, because how come that is? Oh, I see. What we are taking actually, it is not the only the complete levels, it is also the last level, but we are taking one more node in that level. So in this picture, basically, where is that? In this picture, what we are doing, suppose I take all this and I take one more node here. Okay, why? Because I want to know that the total number of nodes is at least this much. I can always say that, right? Total number of nodes is all the complete and one more. Okay, that's why they have just taken this. So this is one less than equal to n. As I said, total number of nodes must be at least this much. And what is at most? You just count all the nodes in all the levels. You assume that all the levels are complete. So this is sigma I is equal to 0 to h 2 to the power I. Okay. Now if you manipulate, basically exactly you will get this is exactly equal to this formula will give you this immediately. You know geometric series, right? This one this will give you 2 to the power h minus 1. Plus 1 will cancel, so this is 2 to the power h. So 2 to the power h is less than equal to n, which will give you h is less than equal to log of n, which is this side. If you manipulate on this side, you will get exactly this. Right? Any question on this? So what we know, that the height of this entire heap is always order of log n. If you see, it is both lower bound and upper bound on the height. So actually it is theta of log n. On the height, it is lower bound log n, upper bound log n. So the height of a heap is always order of log n. Okay, which is good for us because the entire analysis on the heap will be nothing but it will be dependent on the height of the tree, and if height is log n, it is much better. Okay, now come the question how to maintain the heap property. Okay, so first let us see, suppose we have already a heap and I disturb the value of the element at the root of the heap, then I have to maintain the heap. If I disturb the value, it has probably it has destroyed the condition that the parent has a higher value than the children. So I have to restructure the heap so that this invariant is maintained. Okay, how to do that? Yes, so we have to shift down. So that's what I am going to write in a more. So maintaining the heap property. So I am going to write the algorithm, okay, and you will see it's only 3 lines of code. So procedure, I'll call it as down heap. Okay, now see, I'll be using the recursion here. So that's why I am not calling the function down heap on the root 1, index 1, but on any general I. Okay, so what do you do? Basically, you call this function with argument 1. Okay, so this is a general index down heap I. So here is max, a variable where we always keep track of where this current one should go. You will see if I write it, you will see immediately. Max is equal to I. If what do you have to do? So you are in the node I. You have to check among the 2 children which one is higher, and you probably, if this is lower than the higher one, you should exchange between the 2. That's the operation you should do, and that's what exactly this one is doing. If Li is less than equal to heap, I'll tell you what is this heap size. This is also very important. Heap size A and A max is less than A of Li, then max is equal to L of I. This is NDIF. Okay, so this is one part. I write the other part. So what we are saying, okay, what is heap size of A? Heap size of A always will keep track of what is the size of the heap. Basically, in the array A, what is the last element of the heap? We have to keep track of it. Otherwise, we don't know how much we have to go in the array. Okay, so heap size A probably is a global variable. We always maintain what is the total size of the heap. And in terms of array, this is the last index of the element of the heap in the array A. So what it is saying, Li is less than equal to heap size A means basically checking we are not going out of the heap now. While we are shooting in the basically in the array going down, so we should not go out of the bound. So that is this check. And if A max is the current element. If it is less than A of Li, then basically we should exchange Li and A max, and that we are not actually exchanging. We are just keeping in the variable max Li. That probably we may exchange later, because I have to check with the Ri also. Whichever is higher, we will exchange with that one. That's why we are just keeping it here. Okay. So next one I just write, if Ri is less than equal to again heap size A and A max is less than A of Ri, then max is equal to, basically here I am doing this exchange again, updating the max. If Ri is actually greater than A of Li, if A of Ri is greater than A of Li, then max is getting basically A of Ri. So Ri, and this is NDIF. So after this one, what you should do? Now I know we. Yeah, first you have to swap with the A max and right. So that's what we have to do. If max is equal to not equal to I, then you just swap AI with A max, because max has already been updated properly. With which one you should swap this element AI. So you are swapping it here. Okay, and this is the condition you have to check to terminate the recursion, otherwise it will not terminate. Okay, when this will happen, max not equal to I, when one of these if condition is satisfied. If none of this if condition is satisfied, max will remain as I, because the first thing was max is equal to I, if you see. So if max is equal to not equal to I, then you swap and then you call this down heap on what? Down heap on max and NDIF. So this is the down heap. Okay. Pictorially, what does it mean? Have you written this? Pictorially, what does it mean? Pictorially, it means if you have a heap, so basically you are, if this is lower than this one, then basically you are swapping with this one. Now if this one is probably lower than this, among these two, suppose this is the higher and this is lower, then you are swapping with this. You are going down and putting this element on the proper place in the heap. That's what this entire algorithm is doing. Okay. Now how much time does it take, this entire algorithm? How much time does it take, this entire algorithm? Somebody is saying n, somebody is saying log n. Let's not bother with log n or n, but tell me how much this, how many times this down heap is called? Height of the heap, right? For each down heap call, you are going down by one level, and total height is h, so you cannot call more than h down heap, and each down heap is constant time affair. So the complexity of the entire algorithm is guided by the total number of down heap calls, and down heap calls is h, order of h, and we already know that order of h, so this is exactly equal to order of h, and I already shown that h is order of. So this is not order of n, this is order of n, correct. Here is the point what you raised at some point of time. This order of n is correct answer, but the analysis is not good, because log n is much better than order of n. Okay, and log n is the correct answer. Is a better answer than order of n. Okay, so this is understood, right? Everybody understand this. So this is the procedure down heap. Yes.
Specific statement for termination in this algorithm.
Yes, there is a termination condition. If max not equal to I, that's the termination condition.
Max equal to
I.
Yeah, if max is equal, basically that's the condition checking. If max is equal to I remains, it will terminate. It will not call down heap at all.
Then that is not what we want exactly.
Because that is,
to shift through the whole heap now.
yes, it is going to the whole heap.
So, but if max is equal to I, then
yeah, but that means it has found the proper place. I need not go to the bottom. If the element has already been placed in the middle of the heap, but it is a correct place of it, I should not go below.
So we need to check it basically only with its left and right side.
Right. And if it is already in the middle of the heap, what he is asking that we are not going through the heap all the time throughout the height of the heap. But that's not needed. Suppose in between we have found that this is in the correct place, we should stop there. Why unnecessarily going through the entire height? And that's what it is precisely
So
doing.
if max is the heap size, then
What?
then if max takes the value finally, which is the heap size of A.
Right. That's fine, because that if it cannot go beyond heap size, because there is a condition. Each if condition is also checking whether it is less than or equal to heap size. So it will stop. Okay, now what I encourage you to write this entire algorithm not in recursive manner but in iterative manner. So why don't you try writing that one? Not now, but you go back and try to write this entire algorithm without recursion. Okay, that should be very easy. That should be also 3-4 lines code. It should be immediate actually. Okay, but you should try. Okay, now the question of building the heap. Yes.
It is also theta of log n.
It's theta of log n. Sometimes I will not mention theta of n, is almost obvious. Okay, so building a heap. So now let's see. Initially heap is not given to you. Somewhere it has to be started. How can we build the entire heap? Okay, so what is the input to you? Input is the array A with some numbers. They are not sorted at all. Okay, but we would like to create a heap on those numbers using that array. Array is implicit, mind that. Okay, so what is the procedure? It's a 2 lines of code. Okay, so procedure, yes. You just, what do? You call this down heap for all the elements.
Except the last video.
Yes, yes. So we will take care of it. So build heap n. Basically, n is the total number of elements to be put. So for I is equal to n down to 1, do down heap.
Why not n by 2? That could be n by 2 also.
Maybe, but those things you can always check. But this is also okay. Yes, probably it's
So for
okay.
the elements greater than n by 2, there won't be any child.
It does not matter, but this still it is okay, because down heap will take care of it. Okay, down heap will take care of it for those elements. If you go back, n by 2 is also fine. Okay, let's not bother with those nitty-gritty details at this point of time, because we want to see something else. Let us not be lost into that, n by 2 or n. But the algorithm is correct. You can check and go. Okay, so down heap I. So this is what it is doing. It's taking I is equal to n down to 1. So in the array, it's going from right to left. So basically, if you see, this algorithm is just first is creating the lowermost level, then the next higher level, then the next higher level. That's the way it is building the heap. So basically, suppose at this point of time, it has built these two. Okay, so next level it is building on top of this. So it is going from bottom to top, n down to 1. Okay, so in terms of array, what does it mean? It's taking care, suppose it has taken care of this part of the element. So next one, it is taking care of the next element. It's taking care of the next element, taking care of the next element, and always keeping this one as a heap structure. It's a bunch of heap, because here there are two heaps basically. Okay, but ultimately this will put entire thing into one heap. This is the picture. You should always keep the picture in mind, what it is doing actually. So this is the way it is building the heap. Okay. Now my question is, how much time does it take? Okay. So the time is order of n log n, right? Why it is so?
The n steps of this.
Yes. So that's very good. So there is a for loop which is going over n times, and each one we know is taking of the order of h, and which is order of log n, so n times log n, n log. So we are building the heap in order n log n time. Here is the point. This analysis what we have done is a correct analysis, but not the best analysis. You remember in my last lecture I was saying that you analyze your algorithm the best possible way. So you have analyzed this algorithm in one way, but this is not the best way. You can analyze this algorithm and you can show actually this is running in order n time. Order n is the actual. Okay, and that's what we will see, how to analyze it better, and that will make the point clear. Okay, so before I prove to you that it actually is taking order n time, I need to have some very basic algebra. Okay, school level. So I need these functions basically. Sigma I is equal to 0 to h I 2 to the power I. Okay, I'll not. You can check. Please don't talk. You can check. This is nothing but h plus 1 2 to the power h plus 1 minus 2 to the power h plus 2 plus 2. Okay, I am not going to derive it, but you can do this. Okay, the most important part is there is something like h 2 to the power h times 2 to the power h. Okay, so this I will need somewhere later. Okay, now keeping this one in mind, let's see what we are doing in the algorithm. I was telling you that the algorithm is building the heap from bottom to top. Okay, now let's see, when we are building the say bottommost element, their height is how much? At that point is nothing, is 0, right? The next level when we are building, its height was at that point 1. The next level height was 2. Okay, but see, when we analyzed it, we took everything to be h, and that gave a bad bound. Okay, so not always that if you are careful with this that it will give a better bound, but let's try. Let's try. So you can see if some elements I is at the 0 level, so how many nodes are there at the 0 level in the heap? Basically only one, because at the height I, how many nodes are there? 2 to the power I nodes, right, at height I. Okay, and these 2 to the power I nodes, when they were placed in the heap, what was the height during that time? Not I minus 1, it was h minus I. H minus I, because when I is 0, that is the when we put the node at the root, that time the height was h. But when the height was 1, those nodes had height h minus 1. No, it's not clear to you? Okay, what I am saying, so let me have a picture here, a heap. Okay, see, when I was putting this node, what was its height? H. H. Its height was H. Means, sorry, its height was not H, but it had to go in the worst case all the level. What is the height of the tree at that time? H. And that is important. What is the height of the tree at that point of time? That one was H when we put this node. When we put this node and this node, this height was what? H minus 1, this one, and this is also H minus 1. So we had two nodes which had to go through H minus 1. What about this level? There are 4 nodes, but each one had a height of H minus. This is H minus 2. Sorry. So you get the point now. So we had 2 to the power I nodes, and they had to go through the height of H minus I. Let's sum that up, because that's the total complexity. I cannot have, I have not spent more than that time. So what was the total complexity actually? So total complexity was, so we had 2 to the power I nodes which had gone through height H minus I in the worst case, right? This statement you agree now? Okay. So what is the total complexity? So total complexity is sigma I goes from 0 to H 2 to the power I. I'm just putting order of H minus I, okay, instead of H minus I, because you remember the complexity, I cannot put complexity as exactly H. It was order of H. Down heap was order of H. So that's what I have to put, total complexity. 2 to the power I nodes, each one has gone through order of H minus I. Okay. And this you can immediately take this order outside. Okay. And you can take, this is nothing but H sigma I is equal to 0 to H 2 to the power I. This is the first term, 2 to the power. Order I can take outside sigma. It doesn't matter. If you go through the definition of order, you will see it doesn't matter. I can always take, because this is nothing but sum of orders. So sum of orders is basically is the sum of some constant time H minus I, which I can always say some constant time, all this, some big constant you put at the beginning of your sum. It doesn't matter. Okay, you take the max of all the constant, put it at the beginning. Just go through the definition of order. This should be okay with you. Order H 2 to the power I minus what? I is equal to 0 to H I times 2 to the power I, right? Just expanding this. Okay, so this is exactly equal to order. If you now you just expand this, okay, or compute this sum, geometric series. It's a very simple one. So this is H 2 to the power H plus 1 minus H, that this term will give, okay, minus H plus 1. This is already we derived. This is what I needed, that formula. Okay, H minus 1 2 to the power H plus 1 minus 2 to the power H plus 2 plus 2. Okay, and just look at it. There is a H
Plus 2 to the power H plus
2 to the power H plus, oh, this should be plus.
Yes, minus.
This 2 should be minus. Okay. Yeah, there may be a mistake, but that's fine. But look at this. H 2 to the power H plus 1 and H to the power, they cancel out. That's the most important thing. They cancel out now. You see, what is H to the power H actually in terms of n? N log n. H is log n, 2 to the power h is n. So h to the power h was n log n, and they got cancelled out now. What is left in terms of complexity? This is actually what? Order of 2 to the power h. And what is 2 to the power h? What is 2 to the power h? H is log 2n. So this is exactly order of n. Okay. So now you can see the power of analysis. We had the same algorithm. You analyzed it first in log n, which was very quick, which was very easy analysis. Yes, this took a little bit hard work, but anything comes with a cost. So this is much better. You know this is linear time now, not n log n, building the heap. Okay, so this shows why analysis is important. And the thing is, not only I cannot tell you that you analyze this way or that way. You have to come up with this. You have to see that within this algorithm there is a chance of a better analysis. That I am pessimistically doing it. There is no hard and fast rule. I could analyze this algorithm better this way. Probably some other algorithm will require some other intuition, some other insight. And that's the entire point of this course. You have to come up with your own innovations. That's the design part, that's the analysis part. I cannot give you a formula. Apply this formula, given this problem, apply this formula is like not like integration or differentiation. That this formula has this integration, this formula has this. No. You have to come up with your own. You have to think, come up with your own. You have to exert yourself a lot in this course. Without thinking, this course does not stand. Okay, so let's see. Now, at least we have a tool called heap. What is this good for? Why somebody would create a data structure? They must have some other thing in mind, some other goal in mind, and that is we already know how to do the heap sort using heap. So what do you do? Probably you know this. Suppose we have built the heap. Okay. Now we know the maximum element is at the top. So what we do? We take the maximum, the top, the root element, and exchange with the element which is the last element in the array. So we just exchange because I know that is the maximum. So I exchange, then call it down heap. Decrease the size. So what does it mean? It means, suppose this is the heap. Okay. So I just drawn like this. So this is the last level. Okay. What I did, I take this element, exchange this element with this. So you exchange it with this. So this goes in the root. Now call the down heap. So you basically you keep the heap. Now again you have the maximum element of the rest of the element in the top. Again you exchange with the last. So what will happen in the array? It means the last element will be the maximum element, next element will be the next maximum, next element will be the next maximum. You go on doing it, and you will have an array which are sorting in increasing order. But it doesn't matter if somebody says do it in a decreasing manner, then you have to build the heap in a mean heap fashion instead of just make everything opposite. The condition was less than equal to the parent. Now you make it as greater than equal to the parent. That will be a mean. Basically, the minimum element will be on the top, and that will give you the non-decreasing order, decreasing order. Okay, and that's the sorting. Okay, so let me write this sorting. So this is procedure heap sort n. So first, what do you have to do? Build heap. You have to call the build heap n, and you have to put heap size. What is the heap size of a n? For r is equal to n down to do a1, you exchange with what? A1 with a no. There is a I here. I is varying. Right? Then what? Then what should I do? What I have done? I just exchange A1 with the last element. Actually, I is keeping track of the what is the last element. Exchange it, heap size you decreased, and then what should you do? Down heap 1. N4. No, it should go on decreasing I minus 1. The variable I, which is fine. So how much time does this take? How much time does it take? N log n. This is n time, and each down heap you know will take log n. So it is n log n. But again, there should be a question: can I do the similar trick? But here you cannot do the similar trick, because you are going to the top element. You are going to the top element and always doing the heap. Okay, you just try whether, because it is not down heap I, this is down heap 1 all the time. That's why you cannot play that trick. So it is n log n. And I know, you know that you cannot do better than n log n for sure. Alright. Okay. Now, so almost we are done with the heap. Now heap is used for priority queue. Yes.
So in the last algorithm, sir, the down heap each time is when it's stored, the value of I is decreasing. So down heap is going for a lower I. So it is not going all the time.
No. But you are exchanging with the topmost element all the time. You have to call the down heap from the root.
Sir,
So that is down heap 1.
so every time it's not going from the top element to the bottom.
Yes.
Size is decreasing.
Because size
Yeah,
is
but size is decreasing. But this time, if you do this calculation, what actually you are having? First, you have the right. You have the most of the elements with the higher heights. Most of the lower elements will have, lots of elements will have height log n now. It's just the opposite. Previously, we had lots of elements with the lower height 1, and with the highest height log n was only one element. But this time it's the opposite. All the lower elements will have log n, and only one element will probably have height 1. So that's why this time the analysis will not give you anything better. Your question is good. He has asked a very smart question. But you should understand why this time this trick will not work. You should first try, then understand why it should not work. Alright. Now I just mentioned this heap can be used as a priority queue, because what is a priority queue? Basically, priority queue should allow you to extract the minimum. Elements have priority with it, and you want to extract the element with the maximum or minimum priority all the time. You want to go on doing it, and that you can do very easily using heap. Right? I don't have to explain why, because heap always has the maximum element at the top. You just take that element and do. Okay? Done, right?